Welcome back to another Flip Talk podcast. This is your boy KUDOS, and we have our special guest today, EDGAR. He back at it, third podcast he's doing with
Yes,
us.
sir.
I brought you on for a specific reason, and the whole point of this specific podcast is to talk about the process of being a podcaster and like where this podcast specifically started, how it became Flip Talk and where it's now, and then what I'm trying to do in the future. I also want to talk about like the struggles that have been faced throughout the process and just showing that it's not easy. It's very
No
easy
fact.
to look at it from the outside in, and it's like, oh, like everything's going perfectly fine, but a lot of work goes on behind the scenes, just like they saw in my last vlog, my first vlog. And if we went out to VA, we hung out with you and your circle, your family, and
Yes, sir.
which we had a great time. I want to thank you for that. Like I truly had a good time.
Of course, bro. Me too. That shit was
Yeah,
fire, bro.
yeah,
That
yeah.
shit was lit.
Exactly. And it's like one of those things where like it was so many clips. It was just back to back, like fast paced video, but it
Mm.
wasn't a short video either. So
Yeah.
it's just crazy to me that there was so many clips I didn't get to use. If I wanted to, I could have turned that into a 2-3 hour video easily.
Oh yeah, for a fact, bro. Easily.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what's crazy? Like now I'm trying to get more into vlogs and shit, right?
Hmm.
So like I know I peep like there's a lot of times where let's say we go somewhere, let's say that we're doing an activity, whatever,
Hmm.
and I'm recording like the little vlog, like the process of like going in, checking in, what we doing, like giving like a little backstory type shit. And then there's sometimes, bro, that things happen, you be like, oh fuck, I should have recorded that, bro. Like
Yeah.
it happens like after the fact, but
Hmm.
I feel like still, regardless of that happening, like when you piece it together, that should be making sense and it like goes type shit.
I think that's what the beauty behind making vlogs is like you pretty much like have an idea of what the vlog's gonna look like, but then it
Hmm.
turns out completely different from what you plan.
Yeah.
That's like you saying like, oh, I'm gonna go ice skating, right? And then you picture like, oh, I'm gonna do this in the ice skating ring, this and that. But then in the
Yeah,
process, like, what if something happens? Like, what if like you trip and like sprain your ankle? Now you can't ice skate. So like now you get to
right.
vlog that whole negative experience, but it's still experience for people to see.
Yeah,
So it's like the
for sure.
beauty. That's the beauty behind like creating. Like you have an
Hmm.
idea and then it turns into either a better one or you kind of just tell it how it is.
Yep, because you gotta like just roll with the flow, to be honest.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so before we get into like the beginning of things, you did mention you're back into vlogging. So how you feeling? How you feeling about that?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling great, bro. Like
Yeah.
I think vlogging is like one of those things for me that I always love to do.
Hmm.
Like even back when I was doing YouTube with on the Bro and Sis page. So shout out D Smiley, shout out Arlene, you feel me?
Yes, sir.
When I was doing that shit back then, like I love vlogging, bro. That shit was like mad cool. I always found this to be super dope that people could like literally give you a POV of like your
Hmm.
life type of thing, especially when you're doing like activities, because like it could be cool because like now every weekend we're trying to plan something, plan something, plan something.
Yeah,
Like it's cool. Like I like doing that shit, and especially it's the summertime, so I want to make sure we enjoy our weekends.
for
And
sure.
then hey, why not? Might as well make a vlog out of it because at the end of the day, it's like content. It's like I'm able to like shoot long form content that I want to like show to people,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's gonna bring value because I'm trying to do certain things within like the vlog. So
Hmm.
like if y'all tune into like my latest vlog, I did something different that I was like I thought about it and I'm like shit, let me just try it out. So like at the end, I'm reading like a quote and then just reflecting on that quote,
Yeah.
and it's like motivational quote kind of thing. So I think like people are gonna find value in that because I'm just speaking on like real life shit like that anybody can relate to type shit. So I feel like it's cool like that I thought about that and I just did it and I'm doing it now. So
Yeah, for
I'm gonna
sure.
keep doing it regardless. So it's gonna
Hmm.
be fun, bro.
For sure. There's always somebody out there that needs some type of motivation. Maybe having an off day
Right.
and hearing some good words from, a YouTuber or a vlog you're watching, like might lift you up. Might help you out.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
for sure. But like so yeah, so we're gonna go back into that, talking about the vlog and all that, because
Yeah.
that's gonna be part of the process. That's gonna be part of the story. But I wanna go to the very beginning. I wanna go to where Flip Talk first started, right? So
Let's go.
obviously it was an idea at first. So I remember very clearly it was me, Alex, his girl, my girl, and his son. We were going to the Nets game.
Mhm.
It was like on a Friday, like after work type of thing, and
Mm.
we was just talking on the way there, and the idea came up of like like I was thinking about starting a podcast, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I think that's cool, this and that, and then it turned into like us planning something. You know how it goes. It just very
Yeah.
natural conversations. Like, oh yeah, yeah, like we could do it like a little sports base. Like we're over here about to go to a sports event, and it gets your juices flowing. I was like, yo, we could
No
talk
facts.
about these sports we talking about in the car. We could talk about that on a video. We could talk about that on a
Yeah.
podcast. And obviously, sports is something that's always going to be around. There's always going to be new players, new teams,
Mm.
and there's always something to talk about. And
Fact.
you know, at the time, I was also dabbling in like sports cards. So like,
Oh, I
so
see.
I got the idea. Let me take what I know about sports car. Let's mix that with the actual sports itself, with the live sports, and like that,
Mhm.
we'll be able to tell like what's the value of the card, what's going up and down based on how the player's playing. So
Oh, I see.
so that was the original concept of like what the podcast was gonna be, and it's one of those things where like it's easy to think flip talk and think about like you flipping like a card, right? So that was kind of
Right.
the idea behind it, but there's always a deeper meaning to it where it's like kind of like just flipping somebody else's reaction.
I
So,
see.
so yeah, so that's like where everything started, right? And then
Yeah.
we had the original podcast where the first two were just us talking about sports, and then the third podcast was when we brought you and Edwin on.
Yeah.
So like that's what changed everything. Like during
I
that
see.
during that podcast, like a switch flip where it's like damn, it's nice to talk to my boys. It's nice to like reminisce.
Yeah, facts.
It's nice to like talk about high school, and just seeing where everybody's at now, because it's one of those things where you lose touch with people, but you still have that brotherhood behind you.
Yeah, for
And
fact.
and like after that podcast, it kind of like stuck to that, to where we might have
Mhm.
done one or two episodes talking about sports, but it became talking about the person that's on.
Yeah.
We started bringing on a bunch of different Randolph people. Then we brought on friends, and the whole point was to bring somebody who had an interesting story, somebody who had to say something, and like
Mhm.
it's one of those things where for your specific podcast, like I felt like it wasn't right bringing you and Edwin on together, because
Gotcha.
I couldn't like tell both of y'all stories like perfectly,
Yeah.
because it's like you're trying to hear two people's stories, and it's like, all right, we're jumping from this person to that person.
Yeah. It's like two different timelines type
Yeah,
shit.
but
Mm.
from another angle, it was cool because it was a group conversation. You have
Nah, fact.
you have four grown men over here reminiscing about life, reminiscing about like the struggles they had growing up and where they came from, and just them
Yeah.
playing sports, right? So it turned out like perfect to me. Like it was
No, yeah,
a
it was
genuine conversation. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? That would have been like on and off the camera. That would have been what we were talking about.
Right. And
So
to me, it was a dope ass experience too, cause like
mhm.
that was my first time like low key doing a podcast before.
Yeah,
So I feel like that was cool. Like of course like niggas did like, you know what I'm saying, sit down
yeah,
videos in front of cameras and stuff, but it's like different when then you're actually talking about specific things
yeah,
and like reflecting on things with others, like that's just valid, bro.
yeah. And yeah, I feel like some people are like gifted to talk on camera, and like they have the
Right.
right words to put together, and some people have like struggle with it. Some people are like, you may know them as somebody who talks a lot, and then
Yeah.
as soon as you press that record button and you're like, all right, we're about to start, they freeze
hmm
up on you.
Like
Yeah. So there's like a lot of people that like I was like that I brought on. I was like, all right, cool, they're gonna be a great guest. And then I noticed they were like
yeah.
being shy, so it's kind of like, all right,
Mm,
you get used to it after a while. You're like, all right, I'm gonna get the questions out of them,
right.
and the
It's
answers.
it's like low key like a image thing. It's
Yeah.
like a perspective thing in my opinion, because it's like
Mhm.
if you have somebody like you said that's like very talkative, and then when they get on the cam, they be like mad shy.
Yeah.
You gotta get used to that shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird. It's a weird concept.
Yeah.
Thinking like, all right, you're getting recorded, and then that video is gonna go out to like thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like people start like literally like thinking about the very
Mm-hmm.
minuscule things, and
Yeah.
that shit start getting to the head. Then they try to like be perfect, bro. You're gonna fuck up. Like
Yeah.
that's how it is. Bro. You're gonna fuck up. Like it is what it is.
It's about like calculating. It's like they start
Yes.
calculating. They're like, if I say this, then it's gonna lead to
Yo,
this.
fact.
You can't do that. You just gotta answer the question like naturally.
Go with the flow.
and just
Yeah.
accept it for what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So so that was pretty much where the podcast started taking off, to where I'm like, okay, we have a system now. We're bringing on these guests. We're talking about their specific life, and I'm able to mix it somehow with mine's, and just show that we're natural, regular people, just like
Right.
everybody else, right? And it was working. The literally the channel went from like 2-3K to 7K.
That's crazy, bro.
Which is
That's,
insane. And it's a matter.
yeah, that's yep.
It was just a matter of weeks. I'm talking about we were dropping one podcast a week, and like just skyrocketing. And I want to kind of go into the struggles behind that process. Like, it sounds great. Like, wow, like you went up 4,000, whatever the case is, and it's like 4,000 people is a lot, and it's crazy to think of. It was also exciting. It was motivating, but it's one of those things where I'm like, all right, I know at some point it's gonna slow down,
Right.
but that doesn't stop the grind.
Nah, yeah, for a fact.
And it's just like anything in life. It's gonna pick back up. It's gonna slow down, and it's never gonna just be steady.
It's always like a roller
Yeah,
coaster.
exactly.
Up,
and
down.
and that's YouTube as a whole. Like, you just gotta see. Like, you may drop a video that's hitting, and then you drop a video that's better than that, and it may not do the same numbers, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really fall into the numbers, but you have to look at the numbers to try to progress. And that's kind of what I was doing. I was I was the one editing. I was the one looking at the analytics. I was the one with the experience. Alex was more of a he was his co-host role, where he's like, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna give my opinion, and that's what he brought. He had his own lane, I had mine, but it's one of those things where behind the scenes, like, it's hard. It's hard to do your regular 40-hour job, and then like come home, do the podcast, which takes a couple hours, and you have to edit that to try to get out by the end of the week. And that process alone is obvious that it was being done, but there's more to it. It's also, when the podcast ends, the first thing that clicks is like, cool, all right, you go and edit it, and as soon as you're done editing, you have the stress of who's the next guest. And it's one of those things where you don't want the energy to die down. You can't, not necessarily comparing the guests, because I don't think you should ever compare two individual people, but you kind of want it to meet up to par. You have a standard where it's like, you need their life to be interesting. You need them to have a unique story. Like, imagine I bring you on, and then I bring on one of your coworkers, and he has like the same exact story as you. Like, everybody's gonna be like, yo, like, why will you bring this person on knowing you just brought Edgar on, right? So,
right.
So it's kind of like one of those where you have to balance it, because, like, for example, I had a Karine on, and then which is, she's a teacher, and then I had a couple episodes later had Yasmin on, but like, I was able to kind of like balance it to where obviously they have two different stories,
right?
But like, they both went to the same high school. They're both teachers, but they're both different people, so it worked out.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure. But I kind of gotta like, I was gonna say, you kind of gotta look at things like, from a perspective of like the whole situation was like different POVs, right?
Yeah.
So like, yes, they had the same kind of like, they were in the same environment in a sense, but their like end results and the path to get to where they are right now, it might have been different.
Exactly.
So like, it's one of those things where you have to like take it with a grain of salt when you do have like certain guests that have somewhat of a similar background, because at the end of the day, they're gonna have different perspectives on the things that they went through, for sure.
And what was working for me is I would write down the questions beforehand, so I made sure to not intertwine like both podcasts where it's like exactly the same questions, and it worked out, obviously. Like, I think they were both great podcasts, and like, it's showing, right? Like, they're still getting views to this day, and all the podcasts are still going up. So so that's like the first like struggle but then the channel kept growing through the process, and the podcast like pretty much got a flow. Like, it got to a point where it's like, all right, like, where you're coming to get, like when you come to the podcast, where you're gonna get out of it, as far as the message behind it. It was mainly to show motivation. It was mainly to show that, like, maybe how somebody did things in their life versus like the options they could have had. Because I feel like
Oh,
anything in life, you can have like 10,000 different ways to go about it.
oh, for a fact.
But
There's always a different route.
the way you chose is already set in stone. So you just gotta come in
Mm-hmm.
here and tell your story. And
Yep.
you know, everything was going great, bringing on guests after guests, and then it got to a point where I then lost my co-host. So that
Mm,
I would say
I see.
that's the first main struggle behind it. You know, I even asked him, I was like, you know, I want to keep some type of privacy to his reasons for leaving, but
Mhm.
I also owe it to the channel to explain the process, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you know, I did speak to him. I'm like, oh, you do you want to come on the podcast and you know like tell your side of the story, just let everybody know why you won't be around, and
Mm-hmm.
you know he said you know you know you can tell him it's fine like you know he just didn't feel like it was like necessary to that point
Right.
where I had to bring him on and make him mad dramatic where it's like, oh, you know, like this and
Yeah, I
that.
feel you.
You know, like people have stuff going on in life and you know,
Mm-hmm.
their schedules may not align and I get it because it's a struggle to sit here and take out time, take out 2 hours of your day to try to record a podcast and try to schedule it. It's really hard to
Right.
get three people to like make themselves
Align.
available at one time, you know? And
Yeah, that's just tough.
you know, I think that's what it was for him where you know he had stuff going on in his life where he couldn't make time all the time. So it was to the point where
Mm-hmm.
you know he was missing a couple of podcasts. There was a couple of podcasts. It was just myself and the guest. Which
Oh, I see. I see.
yeah. So you know like I understand where he came from. You know as far and I'm glad he told me because it could be one of those things where you just drag it until it gets to the point where I'm like, all right, bro, you gotta dip because like you're not doing anything. You know and
Yeah, I
and
feel you.
and I personally want anybody who's involved, like with anything with YouTube or anything in general that involves me, is to give me your 100%. You know,
Nah, yeah, for sure.
it
I feel
it's
you.
it's one of those things where like I can sit here and say I wasn't 100% affected by it because you know I'm the one that edits. You know, I brought
Yeah.
up most of the guests, but
Mm-hmm.
I also saw that he wasn't able to commit 100% to where
Right.
you know like he was trying to bring certain guests on but like it wasn't aligning like you know it's there was a lot of cases where not just him just both of us in
Mm-hmm.
general where we'll have somebody like hey like you're gonna come on this day and that and then they will cancel so it's kind of like
I see.
so like
Gotcha.
you're sitting here on a Monday night at 7 you're ready to go your PC's ready to go your mic is on it's like all right cool where they at and it's like oh
Mm-hmm.
they just canceled on me like 5 minutes ago it's like oh damn you know
I see. Yeah.
so that could easily mess up the flow and be discouraging
Oh, for a fact.
you know what I'm saying like that could just be like oh man fuck this like I'm
Yeah. Right.
I'm not even gonna worry about a pod so you know I took it upon myself when things like that happen to like get somebody in like a 2 day short notice or something like that there was a lot of times
I see.
where like somebody will cancel and then I remember there was one time like, yo, Edgar, you available? Like, what's up? Pull up. And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm available. Let's do it tomorrow. So it's like,
Yeah. I remember that shit.
I thank you for that because like
Oh, for sure, bro.
you don't you have to understand there's like mass stress behind it. So like just to hear somebody be like, oh yeah, I'm available. Don't even worry about it. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and it turned out perfectly because when I brought you back the first time, like it was your podcast, like
Yeah.
to where it was about just you and like me having a conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
you know that's kind of when the podcast took a little turn to where it's more about like a one-on-one thing
Mm-hmm.
and you know like that works for the channel as well
Right.
so then that's what got me thinking and that's around the time when we spoke in that podcast that me and you had and we spoke about
Yeah.
like me doing a vlog or you know me recording my upcoming trip which was when I went to Mexico for my birthday and
Yeah.
you know that's when it led to a whole nother perspective of my channel to where it went from just being a podcast channel to like me dropping
Mm-hmm.
vlogs and I remember I was having conversations with you like yo should I put it on a separate channel the vlog or should I just put it all together because
Yeah.
originally it was one of those things where the channel was just called Flip Talk Podcast like that's literally
Mm-hmm.
what it was and
Yeah.
I couldn't make it an individual person thing because I had a co-host. Like it's not fair to just throw my name on a channel.
Nah, I feel you on
You
that.
know,
Yeah.
even though it started with me, because you know, obviously the channel started with gaming, like
Mm-hmm.
years back, and then I kind of transitioned into like a podcast.
Right.
So that kind of leads to where it's going now, where like the channel, there's multiple things you can see on it, and
Mm-hmm.
part of that is because of how YouTube set everything up. They
Right.
now when you go on YouTube, you have your homepage, you have your videos, you have your shorts, you have a tab
Yeah.
for live stream, then you have a tab for podcasts. So
Yep.
them doing that like made it like 10 times easier for me to make that decision where, you know what, it's okay to have my podcast, and it's okay for
Mhm.
me to bring these vlogs on to the channel, bring these
For
live
sure.
streams on, and like this a lot that goes into it. I also renamed the channel. It's now
Yeah.
KUDOS NYC,
Hmm.
which I personally like a lot.
Yeah.
It's not just branded to the podcast. It's
Yeah.
overall like
Like you
it's
type
me,
shit.
it's
Like, you know
me,
what I'm
it's me, my
saying? Yeah.
life, and like my story. So it's perfect.
For sure, bro. And I think one of those things I feel like uh, is almost like what they call that shit? It's like taboo. Where
Hmm.
like I remember when I was trying to like start a bro and sis,
Hmm.
bro, every single time I went to like any type of YouTube video, they was always be like, "Oh, never go from gaming to
Yeah.
vlogs and the same
Hmm.
channel." That shit right now I feel like is bullshit. Cause like, bro, you telling me, let's say if you grow your audience, right? Right now you got about like 7.8 thousand, right, subs.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
let's say you have that amount of subscribers, right? And you gain a good majority of them from gaming, a good majority of them from podcasts, right? So like you already have somewhat of a fan base, right? Some sort of a community. So you're telling me you want me to go create something from scratch
Yeah.
and then try to regrind, bro? Like that doesn't make
Hmm.
sense to me. Matter of fact, is I feel like it's more appealing to the viewers to be able to be like, oh shit, he does podcasts and he games online. Oh, this is fire, bro.
Yep.
Like, oh, he does vlogs too. Like that's how I look at it, bro. Because for me, it's like you know the grind, bro. You know the grind. So
Yes.
like the amount of like editing and effort that it takes to like come up with video ideas on one channel, bro. Imagine having to duplicate that two more times, bro,
Yeah.
for like vlogs, podcasts, and live streams. Like those three right there within itself, bro. That shit is tough. So like I'd rather dump all my content in one location and then just whoever is interested, they can go view it, and giving them the options. Because the thing is like, yes, you can always drop links and stuff like that to new pages, but more than likely, bro, the drop off is gonna be crazy because unfortunately people are not gonna click on shit. Like, you know how many times, bro, happens to me all the time. You know how many times I send people my like my distro kit link that has like whenever I drop a song, right, I could share that.
Right.
You know how many times I could look at the stats on that shit, and I'm just like, the stats don't reflect how many people I'm sharing it to, if that makes sense. So that means people are not clicking on the link. So like just because of that, like that's why I'm trying to take a different approach with all my content. It's just like focus it on like my life
Hmm.
and me, and then if people are interested in looking at music, oh shit, he does music, boom. And oh shit, he cooks up
Yeah.
live, like he makes songs live, that's fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if and it all comes down to like your creativity and like what you want, right? Because yes, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, you should do XYZ content," but if that content doesn't make you happy, then that shit doesn't make no sense to do it. So that's why for me, like, it's making me happy to do vlogs, and then I'm live streaming, and then I'm recording songs anyway. So might as well like open it up to the public. Whoever want to join up, join up, and it's
Yes.
cool, like being able to interact with people and stuff like that live. While especially while making a song, like you get the direct feedback. Like
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah.
It's so much shit you can do, bro. It's crazy.
Nah. Yeah. I just wanted to point out that I feel like what you're doing with the live stream is very special. Because if you really think about it, you can't think of that many people online
Hmm.
that are doing live music, and
Right.
they show you the process, and you could chat with them. Like a lot of live streams you're seeing now, especially like on platforms like Twitch, right? Where
Yeah.
they do the just chatting, right? Where it's them sitting
Yeah.
down on their computer, the webcam, they're
Mm.
reacting to videos, they're reacting to music videos, they're
Mm.
they're chilling in a hot tub, like it's just mad random.
Yeah, random
Like,
shit. Yeah.
and then you have the section where it's like music, where like people are playing instruments and they're
Mm.
chatting, right? So you do see that,
Right.
but your perspective is different because you're sitting here recording the actual song. It's very
Right.
different from me grabbing a guitar and playing it live, and it's like taking requests, like what song you
Yes.
want me to play next, versus you
Right.
cooking up your personal music, and
Yeah.
that's what makes it so personal. That it's your
Mhm.
song, it's exclusive, and
Right.
you're showing the process of making it like from
Yep.
scratch. Like you don't have it. It's not like you have the song ready to go and you sitting here
Bro, that's
editing it.
bro. My notepad be
Mm-hmm.
blank. I just
Yep.
open that joint. I start
Mm-hmm.
mumbling. Whatever I find the melody, start putting
Yeah.
in work.
It's very
And it's
authentic.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like it's cool. Like showing people that process because a lot of people don't know. Like, or they might be interested in like, yo, I wonder how Edgar records his music. Or I wonder
Mm-hmm.
how like any artist in general records his music.
Yeah.
Like that shit is cool as fuck. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
some people they find it like taboo or they find it like it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, why are you showing the song that you're about to release? But it's like, bro, in all honesty, I've record like to just give you like a 20,000 feet overview of things.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I record music, bro, and I drop it, it's very far few in between times where it's like I recorded it that same month or that same even let alone that same year. But like when I first started making music, I used to drop songs. Let's say it was 2020, the year 2020. I recorded those songs, bro, in 2019, and it's just because like the span of like when I record something and when I drop it because I want to give it some time to like breathe or whatever the case may be at the time.
Yeah.
But like it's not like I'm recording like let's say on the live stream I'm recording that song and then like on Friday or the next week I'm dropping it. Like that's not the case. So
Yeah.
like even still that song will still have even more of a push for people to go stream it on the like the streaming platforms and stuff like that because
Yeah.
they're seeing the process behind it. So I think that that's just pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. And it's perfect that we're talking about live streaming because it's like my channel originally had a lot of live streaming in it. That
Yeah, I remember.
live streaming had a big part to do with my channels being monetized. For those of you that
Mhm.
don't know what monetization is, it's pretty much the partner program with YouTube to get paid. So when you're hitting thousands of views, you're getting pretty much your like CPM and stuff like that. And I just recently added that to the channel where I'm going back into gaming a little bit because
Mhm.
what didn't scare me so much about the transition from going from gaming to the podcast was the fact that my community was a gaming was a gaming channel. So
Right.
I'm like, you know what, like let me try it out, let me see what happens. Like at that point I kind of took a break, which is like one of the
Mhm.
worst things. I want to talk about that on its own, where like taking breaks
Yeah.
is so like it's so horrible for your channel. It could
Yeah, bro.
like, and it's okay to take breaks as needed, but like there should be a balance to what a break looks like, right? But
Yeah.
before we go into that, I just kind of want to say like I wasn't too scared to make that transition because I've done it in the past and people stuck around, and
I see.
they so it made me feel like they're not just here for the gaming, they're here for me.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
it felt good. So I'm like, you know what? Like, let me make the channel about myself, and they kind of went into
Mhm.
the podcast. So I'm like, let me just make it about the podcast. Because the podcast at the end of the day is to show people, to motivate people, and it's not about me. It's not about my life. Regardless
Right.
of how you may feel, like maybe my life is nice or whatever the case is, like however you look at it, but you can't. That's not the message. That's all I'm trying
Yeah,
to say,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Mhm.
so just going back to live streaming like the last couple of weeks, it's been nice. It feels comfortable. I'm kind of in my zone where I love the
Yeah.
whole interacting. I love having the chat going, um,
That's
and
just fire, bro.
and just kind of to relate it to your channel. I think that's your bread and butter moving forward because
Yeah.
you love making music, but you also love doing content. So
Mhm.
it kind of correlates with your vlogs too, where they get to see you in a vlog, like in a vlog, and see your life and relate to
Yeah.
you in that way. You're being motivating to them, and you can kind of
Mhm.
motivate them with your music as well. And
Right.
what I see for your future is kind of like in the live stream, you'll have your chat going, and
Mhm.
people kind of give you ideas, like yo, like you could be like, yo, what up, yeah, like what type of song y'all want to do, like what topic
Yeah.
y'all want to talk about, and they're like, yo, let's make a song about my situation. It's like, all right, cool, what's your situation? And then the person's like, yo,
Yeah.
I broke up with my ex, this happened, and
Mhm.
she tried to come back, and I told her this, and it's like, all right, cool, let's take that specific story and turn it to a song, and it'll
So
be
yeah,
fire
hell yeah.
because before you know it, you'll have like 15 songs that you could drop an album and just say like
Literally, bro.
I made this album with my chat on YouTube. Nobody's
Yeah,
done that.
that's
So
fire, bro.
so
I'm
that's
telling you, bro. Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of things that like I
Mm,
could start venturing out into with the
yeah.
live stream stuff.
Hmm.
I just gotta get the build the audience, bro, and it's over.
For sure, bro. And that kind of jumps into just being consistent. I
Yeah.
think that's the best medicine to cure that question mark right there. How to get the people, right? Like, how do you get
Mm,
people to come back and like stay consistent, subscribe? I think you just gotta be consistent and let things
yeah.
figure out on its own. Like, if you're live streaming, if you're live streaming every day, let's say 5 days a week, right?
Hmm.
You're telling me within those 5 days, somebody's not gonna pull up and want to subscribe to your channel. If you can get one new member in a week, that's a
Yeah.
win. That's a win because
Bro, it
it
it's so funny
is.
you mentioned that because it literally happened to me. The last live stream I did,
Yeah.
somebody, mind you, I started live streaming super late because this is the shit that we got going on today. But
Yeah.
I feel like that's like when my creative juices are flowing, regardless, right?
Mhm.
But there was some person that they joined the live stream and they dropped the comment in the chat. It was like, "Yo, this is a vibe for real, for
Mhm.
real." I'm like, "Oh shit, what's up?" What like shouting them out,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
And then they were just like, yo, I'm staying up just to see this, and I'm just like, yo, that's fire. Shout out. That was I
Mhm.
always be like, yo, shout out whoever in the chat. Like, that's just
Yes,
mad funny.
sir.
And then I was like, yo, Shake. And the name was like Shaky. I was like, yo, Shaky, yo, sub up, bro, sub up. And then he was like, yo, I already did. So like
Yeah.
that's cool. Like you know what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
like that's an extra person that when I go live, they're probably gonna tune in.
Yeah, and that person is gonna tell their friends like, "Yo, I watch this dude on YouTube that he be making songs live on YouTube." So it's like
Yeah.
you'll be surprised how many people are inspired to see you
Right.
and just see you do what you do in your element. To you, it just may be normal. It's just like, yo, just me making a song. Like this is what I do, right?
Yeah.
But to them,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like, holy crap, what equipment is he using? Like,
Hmm.
who is he? Like, oh, I like his
Right.
sound. Like, like
That
they,
curiosity, bro.
yeah, like, and it's one of those things too. Like sometimes people can't afford to have these equipment. Some people
Hmm.
wish they could do what you're doing. So like they live
Right.
that through you.
Hmm. They live
Yeah.
vicariously.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah,
No, that's
so
fine.
so that's kind of where the channel is kind of at. Like I know we were kind of jumping from place to place to where
Yeah.
from where it started to kind of the challenges, and it's one of those things where what kept me going is just having the drive. Like
Hmm.
I'm a very driven person, and it's kind of like when I start something, I like to finish it.
Oh
Like
yeah, for a fact.
I don't like to half ass stuff and just kind of like put in the back burner. So for me, I kind of went hard with YouTube, took a break, came back, went hard again, and then took a
Hmm.
break. So now it's like, now this is the third strike and you're out kind of thing. Like
I see.
I'm not going anywhere. Like, like,
Yeah.
like this is the most consistent I've been for a while. Like
I see.
like this is like I could say this has been a solid year where like I'm putting stuff out. And so sometimes you like take a break like a week between your videos or whatever the case is. And sometimes I'm at the point where it's like quality over quantity.
I see.
So I want my videos to be somewhat like professional,
Hmm.
with the edits and just the ideas. Like this, I have a video coming up. This is a little
Yeah.
sneak peek. Like I got a video coming up
Oh shit.
that's gonna drop probably like a September, like the first couple
Hmm.
weeks of September, and that's gonna be fire. It's gonna be kind of like the whole vlog based thing.
Hmm.
That's the idea I have for the vlog, right? So
Yeah.
so I'm already planning it out and stuff like that, and it's at the point where I'm able to be a little flexible, where like I am getting a revenue from YouTube, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
I have something to work with to like kind of promote my videos. You know what I'm saying? Like not necessarily
Hmm.
promote them, but like increase the quality of them.
Yeah, like
Like
the production
yeah,
quality.
yeah. It's like one of those things. It's kind of like
Hmm.
investing in anything in life. Like you invest into your videos,
Oh yeah.
and then you get an outcome from it. And it's not always like about the money. Like
Hmm.
it's also about like trying to get your point across. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
I know you can relate with me when you have an idea
Oh
and
yeah.
like you start planning it out. You're like, damn, like this video could be fire. Like this
Hmm.
like if I truly plan this out the way I want to, like this video is gonna be fire. And that's kind of where I'm at. It gets my creative juices going, and it's
Hmm.
it's one of those things where it's like you can consider it a hobby, but it's not a hobby to me. I treat it like if it's like
Oh, I see.
I treat it like if it's a full time job. You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
I may be putting 40 hours into like my current career, but I'm also putting my 40 hours into YouTube. You know, like
Right.
when I get home, time management for everything I do, so that I have
Right.
time to edit a video, to do research for my next video, to live
Yep.
stream, and I have a nice schedule going for me where I'm making it work, and I know
Yeah.
it's gonna pay out in the long run. You know, like
Oh yeah.
I know it's gonna be something that I have a vision for, and
Mm-hmm.
right now my current state of my channel is where I feel like I truly could do anything on it right now. Like if I want to sit
Yeah.
here and do a podcast, like bam, we're doing a podcast. Tomorrow I could go
Right.
record a vlog. I got a vlog
Mm-hmm.
to post. Like, and then it's like if I don't have a vlog idea, I don't have to stress about it because I could just be like, you know what, yeah, like I'm gonna chill out, I'm gonna live stream, I'm gonna play this video game, pull up.
Yep.
You know?
Like there's different forms of
Hmm.
receiving content, bro. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's not all about now just like posting a vid. Like, yeah, you could post a video, that could be like the foundation, but you could do other things. Like if you don't if you can't come up with a full video idea, you could post a short. Like you
Yes.
could do
Yeah.
live stream.
Hmm.
Like you got like social media, like TikTok, Instagram. Like there's other forms of like different avenues where people could receive content from you,
Hmm.
so it's not technically like you're taking a break, if that makes sense. Like you're still putting in content, putting in your 10,000 hours type shit.
Yeah.
So like it all revolves around just like making time. And I like that you mentioned the whole time management thing because bro, that's something I've been trying to figure out for like years, bro. Like it's
Yeah.
tough. Like, and then realizing that you're putting in 40 hours, 40 plus hours, and then like from a 9 to 5, and then you really only have like fucking 5 hours to like leisure time. Cause
Yeah.
by the time I get home, it's already 6, bro. Then
Hmm.
I'm trying to prioritize my health, so I gotta work out, and then
Yeah.
after I work out, I gotta eat, and then
Yeah.
after eating, bro, it's already like 8 p.m. So you're just like, what the fuck? And then it becomes like this repetitive cycle where to some people that shit is challenging, bro, like
Yeah.
super challenging. And like being able to that's when you have to really tap into like being able to leverage different tools. Like some people like to do the old school way, like getting a planner. Like I just got a planner. I'm very, if you already know, I'm very like digital orientated, like very like digital heavy. Like everything is
Yeah.
like digitized for me.
For
But
sure.
like I leverage that, and then sometimes I just need to see shit in my face.
Hmm.
Like I gotta see like, oh, at this time I gotta do this, at this time I gotta do that. So like it's all about like finding that perfect balance, bro. Like time management when you're
Hmm.
trying to like grind out on and build your brand on like anything,
Hmm.
like that shit is mad key, bro. Like that's a major key right there, bro. Time management.
For sure. For sure. And yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like having a schedule is the first way to go. Having that planner, seeing it in front of you, and it's one of those things where like I'm at a point where I just feel like I'm constantly like going like
Yeah,
I
bro.
truly don't like sit down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the only time like I truly sit down is like when I have dinner with my girl. Like I'll just sit down, we'll have dinner, we'll
Hmm.
chill out, and then it's like as soon as I get back or anything, it's like back on the grind. So
Right.
so it's like to me, I've become accustomed to it the last couple months. At
Hmm.
first it was definitely harder because you're figuring it out. You're figuring people have
Yeah.
to realize that. For example, let's use my podcast, Flip Talk podcast, where it currently is right
Hmm.
now. Like I didn't know it was gonna be here when I started. I had no
Right.
clue how I was gonna go about it. No
Yeah.
clue. Like it was to the point where it just like I had a name for the
Hmm.
podcast, and like nothing else was planned. So it's kind of
Right.
like, all right, so now you have to take it step by step. You have to start with point A, which is figuring out what you're gonna call it, and then ending up where you're gonna go with it. And everything plays out on its own. You just gotta trust the process. Like I truly believe in that. Like you have to trust
Yeah.
that whatever you're doing is gonna have some type of outcome.
Hmm.
I would have never thought it was gonna grow in this pace. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
I had no idea, and it's one of those things where I embraced it as it came in, but it also motivated me, and it's one of those things where it's not just I can't remember who said it, but it was something about like you don't have to be motivated to do something, you gotta be
Hmm.
like just hungry to do it. You know
Oh,
what I'm
I
saying?
see.
So
Yeah.
you don't need something to inspire you to keep going. Like you have to just like be a
Hmm.
dog about it and just be like, you know what, like I'm
Right.
gonna tackle this head on. And
Yep.
that's how you should treat anything you do in life. Like, you can't
Mhm.
expect something to be handed to you, because how I see it, I would have put the same amount of grind into this, even if it wasn't growing in the pace that it was growing.
Right.
Like,
Like don't you're not letting the result be like the motivating factor. Like
yeah,
regardless, you're still gonna do this shit.
I could have got like 100 views on that one podcast, and I would have treated that 100 view the same way I would treat like a K 2K views. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I just know that it's a process. Like, with time, it will grow as long as I keep creating the path that I'm going, right, and just having my creative juices going, right. But
Yep.
I also have to understand that, like, there's so much things to go into it. Like, first of all, like, I'm at a point where I can't blame anybody else
I see.
for where the podcast is at right now. And it's one of those things where, like, I can easily sit here and be like, oh, like, I blame my co-host for where the podcast is at right now, whatever the case is. And it's like, no,
Mhm.
like I have to respect what's going on with other people's lives.
No, thanks.
Like sometimes you sign up for things, and maybe, like, for example, just to be fair, like, maybe Alex didn't know how much time goes into this
Yeah.
before he signed up for it. So now that he saw the whole process and everything, like, he's like, oh, no, I can't do this because I don't got time for it, which is
Right.
cool. And it's like, you letting me know that, like, you can't do it anymore, that opened the door for me to be like, all right, now it's on me
It's go
100%.
time.
It's go
Yeah.
time. Like, now I'm even gonna go harder. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because now,
Yeah.
like now it's the point where I'm scheduling with the person that's coming on, and that's it. Like, we're going
Yep.
straight into it, and, like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and you have to also understand, like, you can't be mad at anybody for not having the same drive as you.
No, that's true. That is
Like
very true.
we were having this conversation in VA. Like, sometimes, like, people just don't get your thought process, and
Yeah.
they may not understand where you're going with it mentally, because
Mhm.
in my eyes, like, whatever, it could be 7K, like, subscribers at the moment, but I see this as a mill channel,
Oh
and
yeah. Fuck.
like, I'm gonna keep having that drive in order to get it there, right? Like, that's the
Mhm.
goal. Everybody want to hit the mill and then just keep going up from there, right? But
Yeah.
but I just know that, like, it's okay if other people don't see it that way, because how I see it is, they may not have the same experience as you with
Mhm.
YouTube in general, and that's one of the reasons I want to bring you on, because
Yeah.
you know that this is not easy.
Yeah. This shit is tough,
You
bro.
know, there's certain days and weeks where it's like, yo, this is going great, and then you have, like, 2 straight
Mhm.
months where it's like, fuck, like,
Like this is
I'm not seeing the
yeah.
progress I want. It could be very frustrating, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of have to accept it, bro. Like you gotta accept that you're gonna have
Hmm.
shitty months. You're gonna have shitty weeks. You're gonna have
Hmm.
great months. You're gonna have great weeks.
Yeah.
So it's literally like it's like life, bro. Life is like shit go good, shit go bad. Like it's just like being able to keep going. Like what the
Hmm.
same reason you get up every single day in the morning to get up and go to work, and it's because like that's what you do.
Yeah.
And then you and like for me and you is one of those things where it's like we try to exert that energy into like different things because we see what that shit could become, bro. And I think that's the loss in translation that some people might have. They might just be like, oh, they're not like they don't. I think I said this shit in my last vlog, but it's like some people can't understand or know the rationale as to like why this person is doing this. Like somebody might look at you and be like,
Hmm.
bro, you already have like you have a great career, bro. Why are you doing this? Like they could literally look at it from that
Yeah.
standpoint.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Or like they'll be like, oh, why are you wasting time on that? Like, or like that kind of a vibe. Not to say like it's a negative connotation where they're coming from, but it might be something that they don't really understand
Mm.
why, or they don't see that vision.
Yeah.
So like for me, like like having you bring me on to the podcast and stuff, that's just fire because like we can relate heavy on that shit. Like
Yeah.
we've been making content for years, bro. Like this,
Yep.
we haven't started making content just yesterday. Like we
Yep.
got years doing this shit. Like the same way that you learn everything yourself, bro. I learned everything I like how to do it myself. And like I feel like that's very valuable to other people that we try to bring into this kind of world because like I feel like I'm open book when it comes to like, oh, if somebody asks me a question, like I feel like it's cool when people come to me and ask me questions like, yo, how the hell do you do this XYZ, or like,
Yeah.
um, what's your thoughts on this? I have an idea, whatever. So like I feel like that's dope because like it just shows like I've been consistent for over a time span of years. Yes, I might not be where I want to be, or where I plan to be at this point, but it's like the process, bro. I love it. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's not gonna be as rewarding if you start
Yeah,
today and you end up where you want to be tomorrow. Like like you're just gonna be like, oh, that was easy, whatever. You're not gonna see the value in it. But I
yeah, bro.
bet you, like, if you, like, let's say you're consistent for a whole year, and with after that year, like, you end up like halfway where you want to be. Like, you're gonna be so grateful for that, because you know the struggle. You know that you could have easily not been there. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
so I just feel like you need to fail in order
Yeah.
to in order to find the beauty in things.
Yep.
Cause I
That's a
could I
fact.
could tell you right now, like, anybody is like big on YouTube right now, like, they struggled at some point,
Hell yeah.
and they know the passion and all that, and that's why a lot of people, like, don't leave YouTube. Like, there's been people that's been
Hmm.
doing this for 10 years and even more, and they're still here. This is the
Yeah.
place to be, and I understand this, like, live streaming now on Twitch and
Hmm.
Rumble, all these places, like, you could do different things, but it's like at the end of the
Right.
day, everybody knows who the true, like, content place is, and it's
That's,
YouTube. Like, you know what I'm
bro.
saying? It's massive.
YouTube,
Like,
bro.
that,
Hell
like,
yeah.
and even, like, in a money aspect, like, there's money out here for everybody. Like,
Oh yeah.
everybody has their own lane, and it's one of those things where the whole point of YouTube is, like, if somebody watches my video, like,
Hmm.
I hope for them not to just watch my video and then go to sleep. Like, I want them to watch my video and then, like, watch your
Hmm.
video and then watch somebody else's video, and before you know it, they
Yeah.
watch 5 different videos, and then that's when they're satisfied. Like, all right, I'm going to bed now.
Right.
So,
Bro, it's the whole concept of community, right?
mhm,
Because like for instance, take like AMP.
yeah,
You got a whole bunch of people like you got Kai, you got Phantom, you got
mhm,
Agent, Duke, like
yeah,
it's all of those people, right? Yes,
mhm,
they might have like an overlapping fan base, right?
yeah,
But it's like like sometimes you'll be like, oh shit, Kai dropped. Let me go see Kai's video, see if
yeah.
Phantom is in it, and then Phantom drops a video from his person. Like this
Mhm.
shit causes a chain reaction, bro. Like that's how it is.
And it's cool too because it's like, they all live in the same house, so it's like
Yeah,
sometimes, like, you'll see, like Kai, he'll go to Phantom's room, and then you see people,
yeah,
like,
bro.
they'll switch over to, like, Phantom's, like, live stream,
Like live stream,
and they'll
yeah.
see Kai in his room. So it's like, it's really smart that they're doing that way. And, like,
OD.
they have somebody in the group too that's called, Chris Next Door.
Yeah,
So,
Chris
so
Hunter, yeah.
so he started as, like, a, like, I think he was like a cameraman,
Editor.
kind of he
Yeah,
was an editor, yeah. So he
editor,
was an
yeah.
editor, and then they kind of like, yo, like, you could do this just like us, and it's like, now he's like
Hmm.
taking off just like them.
Yo,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So it's like, that's how I see it. Is like, yeah, I may be where I'm at, and yes, there's people way above me, but
Hmm.
just like they can easily put me on, I could do that for you. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
fact.
Because it's
Mm.
like, we could keep each other motivated. Because, like, anytime I drop a video, I
Yeah.
send it to you. Anytime you drop a video, anytime you
Yep.
have a live, you send it to me. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
gotta start live streaming a little earlier, but
Nah, yeah, but yeah.
the other day you went live like at 1 a.m. or something, and I'm like, and then, like, the next morning I woke
Yeah.
up and I was like, yeah, I was out, bro.
Like GG's,
Yeah,
bro.
but what I was thinking is, like, maybe we could set something up to where I could live stream. Let's say, like, I don't know, let's say hypothetically I live stream from like 6 to 10 or 6 to 9, whatever the case is, and then kind of
Yeah.
you live stream right after me, and
Oh, I see.
I could kind of, like, tell, like, send everybody your way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
so, like, when my stream is done, they could just hop on yours, and then
yeah. Hmm.
that kind of helps out. Whoever wants to stick around, sticks around. Whoever, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, I just feel
Hmm.
like we have to start doing it that way just to help each other out.
Nah,
Because
hell
there's
yeah,
gonna
bro.
be people in your stream that may want to come to me at some point. So it's
Hmm.
it's one of those things where, like, you kind of have to use your resources if they're there. Like, I truly don't
Yeah.
mind seeing other people succeed as well. Like
Yo, likewise.
I
I love
truly
that.
mean that. Yeah, bro. Like, I truly mean that. Like, anybody could hit me up, like, on Instagram. Anybody could hit me up, like, here on YouTube, like, asking
Yeah.
questions, and I'm never gonna hold info to myself. Like, I'm
We're not
never.
gatekeepers.
Yeah, like, I'm never gonna be like, oh, I figured something out. I figured out a loophole in the analytics. Like, I'm gonna keep it to
Hmm.
myself. I don't want other people to grow. And it's like, why?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, tomorrow your channel might be bigger than mine, and it's like, yeah, yo, look, this is what you're doing wrong. And it's like, I can't sit here and be like,
Hmm.
oh, you can't tell me that. Like, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
yo, tell
yeah.
me all the info you got. I'm listening.
Bags, bro.
I'm listening. That it don't mean I gotta
OD.
do it, but, like, I'm gonna
Hmm.
listen. And
Yeah.
sometimes listening is all you need. Sometimes you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying. And that's kind of how I use as motivation to like streams specifically. Like sometimes I'll be sitting
Yeah.
home and I'm like, damn, I'm tired today. I'm not gonna live stream. But then I'm
Right.
like, you know what? Today might be that live stream where I'm gonna get that crazy viewership. And like that
Hmm.
literally happened to me the other day where like
Yeah.
it increased like much more than what the average is.
Oh,
And
I see.
and I got a bunch of subs that day and it's like, damn,
That's
and I was
fine.
planning on not live streaming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. That's how
So,
it be.
yep. And it's perfect too because I was like playing Warzone. I got like 2 dubs in a row. Like
Hmm.
it was aligned perfectly. Like I had like the whole squad playing everything.
Hmm.
You know?
That's fire, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. That's at the point right now where like the live stream help out a lot with the channel because you're getting feedback, like live feedback, to where it's like, oh, what do you guys want to see? So
Yeah.
like recently, I did like a 2K live, and somebody in the stream was saying like, oh, you should do like rec, and that's not a bad
I see.
idea. Like you know how you create your player, and then you go to the
Right.
rec, so like,
Hmm.
and then you're pretty much playing five on five. Everybody's controlling one player, so
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea. So I'm
Nah,
kind of
records work, bro.
considering that. Yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
considering that. So I'm like, you know what? I might get a squad of 5. You know what I'm saying? Have your point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. Everybody got
Right.
their positions. You know what I'm saying? Bring out the characters and go
Hmm.
crazy. So
Facts.
so let me know if you're interested. I know Justin play 2K too,
Yeah, definitely.
so I might have to throw you on the squad. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that should be valid, bro.
Yeah, but just changing the topic. I wanted to kind of discuss a little bit about the little plans me and you might have in the future, where we
Hmm.
link up and do a video together. So, just to give a little background, when we were in VA, we did a little ghost tour. It was cool. It was fun. It was an experience, right? It was somewhere
Yeah.
new, but like
Hmm.
I truly feel like there's a lot of places out there that could be much more scarier. Like the experience can be much more crazier, especially if you bring like equipment
Right.
with you. So
Yeah.
you know, like I was thinking we could go like somewhere like truly haunted, like
Hmm.
somewhere that is considered one of the haunted places in the world, one of the haunted places in the U.S., and kind of
Yeah.
start there and just see how the video goes. I think it'll be
Hmm.
cool to like link up with like 2 3 people, you know, bring the equipment, you know, like buy the flashlights, buy the EMF readers, like all like
Right.
you know all these equipments that ghost hunters use,
Yeah,
and
like the
like
gadgets.
test it out, just test it out, like see if you could actually catch something on camera, you know, actually see if the place is haunted, and
Hmm.
you know, like I know those videos do well on YouTube, and there's a big fan base behind it, and you
Yep.
know, like I got a lot of like cool feedback from it. That was one of the like a lot of people like that part of the video.
Oh, like the ghost survive
Yeah, like
the
the
vibe.
ghost. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like in my head, I'm just kind of like, to me, it felt like mostly fun. Like
Hmm.
I didn't feel like at any point I was like actually scared. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
yeah, I feel
But I'm
you.
like,
Same.
I'm like, imagine that vibe and the actual scary place. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
the vibe is gonna be much more different, and the video is gonna be 10 times more like reactive type shit. You know?
Tense, bro. I,
Intense. You know what I'm
like I be
saying?
watching certain things on like YouTube, right? Like you know how they
Hmm.
be doing like the story times and they have
Yeah.
like clips and stuff behind the
Hmm.
story times. It's just crazy to think like, yo, what it like it keeps you like at the edge of your seat, like, yo, what if what they
Yeah.
saying is not cap? Like what if they saying
Yeah.
is dead ass true? That shit would be crazy.
Hmm. And it's like the same thing. It's kind of like the best way to describe it is like the UFOs. You know,
Yeah, bro.
like you know, like when people be like, "Oh, I saw a UFO," and it's like, "Oh, you
Like
got a
nah,
clip
you
up,"
fucking bullshit.
and it's like, "Oh, I got
Yeah.
a video," and then you're like over here looking at the video, rewinding it, slowing it down.
Hmm.
It's like that same concept behind like ghost videos, and it's like, is it truly haunted? And I want
Yeah.
to be one of those people where like I'm going in there where I'm like, I'm not gonna drag it out. I'm not gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna try my best to make this scary. Like, nah, like if it's not scary on the video, I'm gonna be like, yo, this is not it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right, yeah. I feel
So
you on that.
so that's just the mindset. But just show the whole process, like getting there, like us going to eat before, like us going to grab the equipment, like just us getting there, setting up,
Yeah.
and it's like being there at 3 a.m. when that's the most ghost activity, right?
Yeah.
So it's
That should be crazy.
like I definitely want to set that up. I definitely want to set that up. I definitely want to make it happen.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of places that it's you know, in a distance like close to us kind of thing where we
Yeah.
can figure it out. So that's kind of what you guys gotta stay tuned for. This is a little sneak peek. But I
Facts.
also want to like try to set it up to where maybe we do a live stream on my channel, where
Oh, I see.
where we're kind of sitting here on Discord. I'll pull up
Mhm.
the video and we'll watch it live. We'll have people in
Yeah.
the chat react with us, and
Mhm.
we'll just kind of do a live reaction so we can get a feel of what it will be like if we did it live.
Yeah. For a
So
fact.
let's definitely like coordinate and see when we can do that live stream.
Mhm.
That'll be fun to do. What I'll do is
Okay.
I'll just find a bunch of videos for us to react to, and then we'll
Mhm.
kind of just watch it all in the stream for like an hour or two, and then see how it goes.
I bet.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
valid.
for sure, for sure. So yeah, so I definitely. Oh, let's talk about the song, bro. Let's. So
Oh yeah, facts.
I was featured for the first time on any song in my life with
Yes,
my boy
sir.
Edgar. The song was Lost is on Edgar's YouTube channel.
Yep.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the link down below
Mhm.
in this channel. I specifically don't want to post it on my channel because
Yeah.
I want the direction to go into your channel
Oh,
because
appreciate you, bro.
at the end of the day, like I have my verse, I wrote my verse, whatever the case is, but like at the end of
Yeah.
the day, like I feel like you put in your work for that song, and at the end of the
Mhm.
day, for me, I consider it like a feature. Like at the end of the day, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just me like messing around, making music, right? And I actually have
Right.
fun with it, right? But
Nah, that's the most important
like
part.
like you take music much more serious than me. Like it's one of your passions, one of your hobbies. So I like
Yeah.
I really need everybody to go and show Edgar love. Like I
Yes,
need you
sir.
guys to go and press that link of our song. It's called Lost.
Yep.
It's a fire topic. I throw on a little shout out to Flip Talk.
Facts,
In
bro.
my verse. You know what I'm saying? I had a not but 30 seconds of shine, whatever the case was. And yeah,
Yeah.
like I just truly want y'all, like just like y'all clicking on this video, to please go and listen to that specific song. And I
Yep.
want y'all to write in the comments Flip Talk Podcast so Edgar can see like where y'all coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
And
bro.
while y'all there, just press subscribe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Might as well. Fuck it.
might as well. You're already there. You know what I'm saying? The like button is like a
Yep.
little further down to the left from the subscribe. So,
Yep.
so you already know. But yeah, man. Like, how was the process? How do you see me being the first time that I was doing music? What was your reaction of like me?
Yeah.
Well, the actual recording of it is on the vlog, but like, what was going
Yeah.
through your head when you heard my verse and everything?
It's crazy because like when you told me about the idea, I was like, oh shit, that'd be a fire ass idea, bro. Like to for me, that's like perfect content.
Mhm.
It's like you're stepping out of your element type shit, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, and you're trying something new. And for me, bro, like I told you already, like I like seeing people try different things, and like I'm not someone to be like, oh nah, bro, don't do that shit, like don't do it. I'm
Mm.
like, yo, bro, try it out. What the fuck? Like you never know, you might like it, and you end up start making music, whatever the case might be, or and anything that you're trying to type shit. So
Yeah.
like for me, like when you came to me with the idea, I was like, nah, I gotta go crazy. I gotta look like I went, started sending you some beats and stuff like that I found on YouTube. And we found one beat that obviously the song is made on, and it was fire, bro. Being able to collaborate, and I was like, yo, it's crazy because like you had that vision to be able to like do it on your own. Like you didn't ask me for help. Like you was just like, yo, bro, I'm gonna just do my thing, like type
Yeah.
shit, right? And I was just like, yo, that's cool. Like he didn't like lean on me in that sense where he wanted to just try it out, and it was what it was, kind of a deal. And then when you came to record, I feel like that I love recording, bro. Like
For
I don't
sure.
know, but like there's something about recording music to me that is just like it's fire. Like if y'all tune into the live streams, when I'm making the song, bro, like of course, and the final product, when you still listening back to it, you be like, oh shit, that just sound kind of flowy, whatever, whatever. But it's like when I'm recording, bro, like I do like a million takes, bro, until I
Mm.
feel like I found that one, like
Yeah.
that's the one, bro. And then when we was recording, it's pretty funny because like it was the first time like on the mic and shit like that, and I remember we did like 3 takes. It was like 3 takes,
So
and
yeah.
then it was funny because like when I was mixing it and stuff, and I sent it back to you, he was like, "Yo, I don't like the way this sounds." So then I was like, "All right, let me fuck with the other takes that we did." So I literally took like specific takes from the different or specific clips from the different takes that we did, and I
Yeah.
like pieced them into one. So like that process, like some people might not even know. They might think like, oh, he just did it like once
Yeah.
type shit.
Hmm.
And then I feel like it was cool, bro. I feel like the song came out fire. I think your
Yeah.
verse came out pretty dope. For it being your first time like on the mic, when I was on the mic the first time, bro, I hated hearing myself. Like
Yeah.
it was a weird ass experience, like hearing myself back. But I think for you, it helped out that like you already make content and you're already hearing your
Hmm.
voice. So like being on the mic is not anything different or out of the blue kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I feel like that whole process was pretty dope, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, okay, so I'm really gonna push for everybody. I'm gonna say it again. Whoever's here right now watching this, whoever made it this far into the podcast, y'all gotta go to
Back.
Edgar's. Like y'all gotta go to Edgar's channel and listen to the song. Like I really need. All right, put it like this. Edgar, what's your most viewed video? Like how many views it got?
Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me go to my channel right quick.
bye bye.
My most popular video got 4.7 thousand views.
4.7 thousand views.
Yep.
All right, 4.7 thousand. So I need y'all to go to this channel and make the song "Lost" by Edgar JC featuring KUDOS, the most viewed video on his channel.
That ass, bro. Do that shit.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the
That'll be
day,
fire,
at the end
bro.
of the day, like Edgar needs to monetize his channel, and I want to see him monetize within the next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
for a
so
fact.
so it's one of those things where it's like this is the first step. I want you to see, like, Flip Talk is Flip Squad is out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes,
and
sir.
and the best way they could show me that is by going to the channel and listening to like the first song I ever did. You know what I'm saying? With my one of
Yeah,
my
that's
boys.
fire.
So
I think.
I know it's possible. Let's get
Oh
this to
yeah,
at
for a
least
fact.
5K views. That's all I'm asking
Yes,
for,
sir.
and let's go from there.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but you know, all jokes aside, I feel like I would like to do another song in the future.
Hmm. Yeah.
And my idea, like, that I'm thinking about going about it is I want to do like a song, like an intro for the channel kind of thing,
Oh, I see.
and
Yeah, that's fire,
not
bro.
necessarily like an intro, but like I just want to take a clip from that song and kind of throw it in the
Yeah.
beginning of my videos, maybe somewhere randomly in the video, or maybe I could make like a funny, like, take something out of the song where it's like a catchphrase, you know, something that is used on a live
Yeah.
stream or something. You know how, like, for example, on Twitch, like every time somebody subscribes, like
Yeah.
you'll hear a song in the background. Like
Hmm.
I want it to be like that, where,
Oh, I
you
see.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
fire, bro.
I could
Yeah.
make it more than just a song. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yep.
So I'm gonna be in
Yeah.
touch with you with the beats and all that, so we could try to make something in the future, and then whatever we
Sure.
link in the future, we could kind of record it in person. But
Nah, that'll be fire.
yeah, man. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about your channel before we go. Like, um,
Hmm.
obviously you got the whole live stream going, you got the music going, you know, you got your vlogs. Like, where do you see your channel at the end of the year, and what are your goals like for the 2024 year? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let me see. Let me pull up my channel right quick.
Yeah.
All right. So right now I got 149 subs, right?
Hmm.
So I'm gonna do it by like three different tiers. So I'm gonna do like sub count.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do a accolade that I want to do for a specific video,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do like where do I see the channel, right?
But
So like for the sub count, by the end of this year, I want to at least have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 subs by the end of this year. And I know it's possible because we got a couple months left, and I'm
hmm
trying to stay consistent. I'm trying to drop a vlog every week. I'm trying to drop shorts Monday through Saturday, and I'm using Sunday as like my rest day, so I
hmm
could like consolidate all the content for the following week type shit. And then um so that's the sub, and then that's the kind of like the strategy I'm doing. And then for like the video wise, I would like for one of my videos, bro, to hit at least. Now I'm gonna do two things. I'm
hmm
gonna do one music and one vlog. So like I would
yes.
love for one of my songs to hit at least like 10K views
Hmm.
on a song.
But
And then for a vlog, I would love for my vlog to hit 1,000 views. Any of those two,
yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
be dumb hype. I'm gonna be dumb hype, bro.
Yes, sir.
And then like moving forward for my channel, like I could see like the same way that you see your channel as being like a million subscriber channel. I can see my channel being the same thing as well, because it's like I feel like it's endless content, bro. Like
Yep.
music, like that shit has the most longevity like alive. Like I feel like anytime, like for bro, motherfuckers still be tuning into songs that dropped like in 1980, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like even earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
So like that shit, I feel like music is timeless. So like that's one of those reasons why like I really like music, because like I always found it super dope to be like, yo, what if like when I'm 60 and then like my son or daughter, like they use one of my songs as their like throwbacks. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
Like that'll
Yep.
be fire to me.
That'll be
Like that's just
fire. Like,
crazy.
yo, like, this is my grandfather right here. Like, you
Right,
know what I'm
yeah, that should be
saying?
crazy, bro. It's wild, like out of
Yeah.
this world. And then like for the like the same thing, like for the channel, like I just want to keep being consistent and just keep growing the channel. Like
Yep.
I feel like within the next in 2024, like I want to like really work, like strive hard to get it like past like 50K. Like and for the 2024 year, I want to hit 50K subs, bro. And then from there and just keep growing, keep growing, keep going, keep going.
Sure.
But I'm telling you, bro, I'm trying to like I'm gonna stay super consistent and just try to keep dropping vlogs, dropping music, and then live streaming. Like I'm gonna just focus on those three things,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna just see what it does.
Yep.
Because I have fun regardless doing it. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? So
Yeah.
it's great.
And I feel like that's gonna give you the flexibility where I'm currently at too, where I'm
Mm.
able to do three different things on the channel, and it takes away from that stress of let me get out the next podcast. And something I also
Yeah.
wanted to mention too is like, going back to the whole guest thing and planning the guest.
Mm.
Um, I really like take that serious to where if I'm bringing somebody on my podcast, I want it to be somebody worthwhile.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
just don't want it to be any random person to talk about their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want there to truly be a story behind it, and I have to be inspired before I inspire somebody else. So like, if I don't find you
Yeah.
inspiring, like not to be messed up, like I'm probably not gonna bring you on the podcast because like
Right.
there has to be something about you that like clicks for me where it's like damn,
Hmm.
somebody has to hear this person talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. No, for sure. And I think that's what it's all about, bro.
Yeah,
Because you know, you're the only person that knows your audience the best.
for
Like
sure.
you're the person, and of course, if Alex was still here, y'all would have been able to make that judgment call. But like,
For sure.
it's not anything that somebody needs to take like to offense. It's just like that's just is where you know what your audience wants to see, and
Yeah.
then if you are able to have that insight to be able to be like, oh shit, this person has a really good story. Let me try to bring this person on,
Yeah.
because of like and y'all have like a connection with each other. Like,
Yeah.
bro, that shit is in the cards. Like, it's just about timing.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And you know, it's one of those things where like I truly just want everybody to be happy. You know, like
Yeah.
I remember through the whole process of like before like Alex left the podcast, like I was, you know, like we were talking about him like creating his own personal channel on the side too,
Oh, I see.
where
Yeah.
he was doing something similar to where maybe he was not bringing guests on, maybe it was just him talking to the camera, but like
Mhm.
he could say like his point of view because sometimes when you're a co-host, there's only like so much you can say sometimes and do.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like this a limitation to being like a primary host because like
Mm,
there was a lot of times where like I'm the narrator where you know I'm the one talking in the
right.
beginning, I'm the one talking in the end, like I'm the one kind of like asking most of the questions, so it's kind of like I didn't want to take that away from him to have the freedom of
Hmm.
just like him bringing up the topics that he cared about, you know, like so
Yeah.
it's very it's like you could sit here and be like okay I'm gonna ask this question, you ask that question, but like I didn't like that concept because like I want him to ask question freely because it's like what
Yeah.
if I wrote down a question for me to ask and it was like the perfect time for him to ask that question, but then he
Hmm.
had to ask a different one that he made up
Right.
on the spot. So
Hmm.
so it's like I wanted to give him that freedom to like
Yeah.
not only have his like following because you know at the end of the day like there's people that come to the channel for me, there's people that come to the channel for him, there's people that come to the
Hmm.
channel for the guests, right? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like I wanted him to have that aura behind him before like that he had like his people that he was bringing.
Yeah.
So like I was
Hmm.
pushing for him open to get his own channel and stuff like that, but like you know he has
Right.
his things going on in life where right
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
he's not able to invest the amount of time I am to the channel. But like you know,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I am grateful for what he did for the channel. You know, like I'm
Oh,
grateful.
absolutely.
I'm grateful that he was there at the beginning. It's kind of like one of those things where he helped me like kind of like start like breaking the stones, and like
Yeah.
and then he's kind of like, oh, I gotta go, and I'm like, don't worry, I'll finish the cave. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
now I'm over
Facts.
here, like I got the machinery to
Hmm.
break the rocks down from where we started with a pickaxe. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we started with the most simplest tool, and then now I have something to work with. So you know
Yep.
I am grateful in that aspect where, you know, I'm just gonna do right by taking this the furthest I can,
Hmm.
not only to show like him, but to show everybody else that like the time and effort we put in is gonna have an
Right.
outcome.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. Hey, yo, shout out Alex, man.
Yeah,
Shout
shout out to Alex, shout out to Alex, shout out to
out to
Max,
Alex, bro.
shout out to his girl too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, sir.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we just trying to be positive, we trying to be happy out here, and that's what it's all about, man.
Yep.
But you know,
For a
like,
fact, bro.
but you know, like, I also like leave it open if he ever wants to come to the podcast and like say his side of the story or whatever the case is. If you want to come back and talk about whatever he heard on this podcast, like I'm open to it as
Mhm.
well.
Oh yeah.
So you know, like at the end of the day, like there's only so much I can say without the person here, because
Yeah, I feel you.
I kind of don't like talking
Like on behalf of people.
and not giving somebody the opportunity to say their side. You know,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm only basing it off what I feel comfortable saying.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, I feel you on
that's
that.
the best I could do in life. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I can only
Yeah.
do so much. But yeah, man,
Mm.
like I'm excited to see like what's gonna happen with our channels moving forward.
Yep.
I'm always gonna be like in the background, just like, yo, Edgar, what's up, what's up, what's up? Like if I see you in a live stream, like, yo, what's the next live stream? Like
Yep.
I feel like we're at a point where we gotta keep motivating each other.
Nah, hell yeah.
I feel like you have a path of what you want to do. You want to do your vlogs, you want to do your live stream, you want to do your music. I feel like you're always gonna have a video within those three categories,
Yep.
and you have like with the live stream, I just feel like you have such a like unique niche that like
Hmm.
nobody else. Like I can't tell you one person that like is doing that right now. So
Yeah, bro. Me neither.
be the first to turn that into something, bro.
Yeah, for a
For
fact.
sure,
We're
bro.
gonna be working, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it too because it's gonna push me to make more music. So
Yeah,
like that within itself is helping out another form of my content, which is music.
yeah,
So like the more lives I do, the more music I make. So
for
like
sure.
that's gonna be like a vibe right there. And I already see that how that's gonna translate
Yeah.
into like the videos and stuff like that. So
And
I
every
can't
time
wait.
you make a song, it helps me out because I'm using that song in my next vlog. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh,
Facts.
I'll be like, Edgar dropped the song, perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Alley-oop.
That song gonna be clipped in my video. So
I appreciate
you
that,
know what I'm
bro.
saying? I wish you could take something from my podcast and put it in your lives or whatever the case. But like, I'm sure you'll come across something at some point.
OD, for a fact.
For sure, man. But yeah, definitely, you know, like I feel like we hit all the points that I wanted to talk about on this podcast. Like you know, like I didn't want to like just focus on the fact of like just only talking about the Flip Talk channel. You know,
Yeah.
talking about KUDOS NYC channel right now.
Yeah.
But you know, I just didn't want to sit here and talk about the podcast alone. Like I wanted to like get your side of things too because you know, like I feel like you're the last couple weeks you've been putting a lot of effort into the channel. It's showing. You know,
Appreciate
you're making a lot of shorts. Like I think
you.
that's
Yeah.
great. I think you gotta keep doing that.
Hmm.
And just be patient, man. Like
Nah, for sure, bro.
you're gonna see some progress after this video when everybody goes and check out the song "Lost." You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Which
Hey,
is
man,
fire,
help
bro.
me. They're gonna help
Mm-hmm.
me hit that 50K video
Yes,
mark in
sir. Yes,
2023.
sir. Yes, sir.
That's valid.
But yeah, man. Like this year is going by quick. You know, it's
Fact.
coming. It's gonna come to an end before you know it. And I'm just excited to finish out the year strong. And
Hmm.
I'm excited for 2024. I'm just gonna keep grinding the way I did this year, and I'm just gonna go 10 times harder,
Yes,
man.
sir. Definitely, bro. That's how we
For
gotta do
sure.
it.
But you already know, bro. Let's plug up your Instagram again. Plug up your YouTube. Anything you have, any platform you have that
Yep.
you wanna shout out.
Yeah, for sure. So on social media, everything is at it's Edgar JC,
Mm-hmm.
ITSEDGAR JC. On my YouTube, it's just search me up as Edgar JC. I'm probably gonna pop up. I'm like the only Edgar JC out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Just YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yes,
Everything is
sir.
literally Edgar JC, bro.
Yes, sir. So yeah, for sure, man. And you know, obviously for me is mena.nyc for my Instagram, and then Kudos NYC for YouTube. There's a couple other Kudos NYC, but they got bumped down. You know what I'm saying? They put me to the
Yes,
top. You
sir.
know what I'm saying?
Talk to him. Talk to that shit,
Yo,
bro.
it's mad funny because I changed the name of the channel, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
I'm like, let me see what his category. I typed in and I was like, Kudos NYC. I'm like, first one. I'm like, say less. Say less,
that's
say
how it
less,
is,
say
bro.
less.
That's
Yeah.
right there. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you guys go check out Lost. It's gonna be down below. And before we go, we
Yes,
gotta give a shout out to Reebok, bro. Reebok's been showing your
absolutely.
boy some love. You know, I'm really happy to be part of the affiliate program, and you know, it's just on the way up. I got some crazy sponsorships coming too on the works.
Hey,
Yeah, I got some new
yes,
sponsorships
sir.
coming. And you know, I just wanna make sure I link down below the Reebok links for whatever special they have. What's great about it is like I feel like every other week they're dropping a new special, and
Mm,
you know, like a lot of times when you go to certain websites and stuff like that, you'll have like 10-20% off. Like Reebok is always doing 40-50% off, and it's like really convenient, bro. Like
yeah,
like how often can you say like, oh, I want to buy these sneakers and it was 50% off? You know what I'm saying?
not very often. You'd be lucky you
Yep.
get 10.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Now they don't even do that anymore with inflation, bro.
Facts, bro.
Yeah,
They're like, we gonna keep that 10%. Shout out
yeah.
Reebok.
So if y'all want y'all Reebok merch, y'all make sure y'all go down to the link below, and I'm sure there's gonna be some fire special. All you gotta do is click the link and then use the code that's under it, and you'll get that 40-50% off whatever the sale is. So yeah, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in to Flip Talk Podcast. We had our boy Edgar. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Absolutely, anytime,
Yes,
bro. You
yes,
know.
yes. And I hope you guys got the message that I was trying to bring out, that I started this podcast and the channel has evolved so much to where now I'm doing 3 different things, and it puts me at a happy place. I just want you to see this beauty within the struggle and just keep going. Even if it's not like something social media or content creating related, if it's something in your life that you're going through, just know that everything's gonna be okay if you have a positive mind, and that's where you have to start. So thank you for
Facts.
tuning in, guys. You already know, Flip Squad. I love y'all. Be safe. Have a great night. And you already know. It's your boy Kudos. Peace. Yes, sir.